to the Footy Family Podcast. I'm Luke. This is my father, Nick, and this is my brother, Axel. Today we will be reviewing the last quarterfinal games of the World Cup and then upcoming semifinal games of the World Cup. Dad, do you want to take us through what happened in the Norway-England game?
Sure. The number 4 England seed took on the number 31st Norwegians and won 2-1. It was a tense game in a very hot, humid atmosphere. It was a slow game for the first 25, 30 minutes that came to life after Kane was fouled but not called. It wasn't called. Norwegians break down. Schlotterlip puts in a cross shot that Pickford made a mess of, in my opinion. Goes in. It's 1-0. The Norwegians. 10 minutes later, England looking a bit more proactive. Goal kick comes out, may or may not have hit the camera wire. Anderson brings it down, passes to Gordon, who passes to Bellingham, who takes on 4 men. And the big Belling goal scores 1-1 at the half. Tuchel takes off Rice and Madueke, who hadn't had great first halves, for Saka and Eze, who were more proactive. Subsequent subs, including Reece James, even more proactive, Morgan Rogers. And I think England dominated the second half. However, they didn't produce until the 93rd minute into extra time when Bellingham once again, off of a shot from Rogers that the Norwegian keeper kind of spilled, was put in by Bellingham as he was the first to respond. Axel, do you want to take us through the stats? Because I think it's important to understand in some ways how dominant England was. England did deserve to win this game, and the numbers don't lie.
Sure. Let me just start off though by saying, thank you, Jude. Thank you. But going on the stats, Norway had a little bit more possession, but England had a higher expected goal difference, more total shots, more touches in Norway's box. Sorry, yes. But
Well, importantly, the XG on target was 2.64 for England and 0.42
Yeah.
for Norway,
sorry,
right?
I messed up. I was looking at the first extra time half stats. My apologies. No, England had more possession and had better stats throughout with XG, which having 1.04 and Norway having 0.68. And then if you go down the line, with shots, touches, big chances, accurate passes, it's all to England. So England were dominant in this game and probably did deserve to win, even though it was closer than I think it should have been for England. So it brings on the matter of what's going to happen in their next match.
Yeah, I think it was closer. The stats would say this should have been basically 3-1 England, and the keeper kept him in it, the Norwegian keeper. So I don't. Tuchel's comments, obviously, he was not pleased after. I think some of the England players didn't have good games, and they're going to have to play better against Argentina to win. But they've done what it takes, right, Luke? What did you think of the game?
I thought that Holland especially looked upsetting. I don't think he got enough chances. I think if Norway got
And then he was
the
taken
ball,
off.
yeah, I think if Norway got the ball to him more, they would have maybe scored one or two more, but they didn't. I think that's one of the main reasons England won, and also Thomas Tuchel made the decisive subs that probably helped England win the game. Before the game, I also said Madueke and Gordon. I didn't like that they were starting, and I think that
Nobody did.
I
I think
forget.
Gordon availed himself
Yeah, I think
eventually.
okay. Gordon did fine, but I said Madueke shouldn't have started.
But Saka did well. And if you guys are listeners, if you're into stats, we like the FOTMob, which is FootMob, FOTMOB app, which gives you a lot of stats and player ratings. And if you look at that, of course, Bellingham gets a 9.1 rating. They give Kane only a 5.9, which is crazy, right? He had 37 touches. Holland only had 21 touches of the ball. Bellingham 64. But if you look at England's subs numbers-wise, here's where the story is told. They did much better in terms of their rankings than the Norwegian subs. I'll let the listener look at the app if they want, but basically sevens to England and fives to sixes to Norway, and I think that tells the story. You just had better quality, right, Axel?
Yeah, I think when it comes down in this game to player, the quality of England outmatches the quality of what Norway have, and I think the coaching does as well, plus the bench. I do have a question. Was Antonio Nusa injured? Is that why he did not start the game?
No, he wasn't injured. I don't think. I think they just thought Schlitterlup had been more proactive in the prior games,
I
and
guess they were right about that, though. Weren't
in a way, yeah. I mean, England's weakness is right back because they had a center back playing right back until Reece James came on. So we'll see what happens against Argentina. But we'll talk about that at the preview.
Axel, do you want to take us through what happened in the Argentina Switzerland game?
I'd like to
Another
say
referee decision.
I'd like to say no, but go ahead. Uh, Argentina after 10 minutes score header McAllister assisted by Lionel Messi from a corner. I mean, there's not much to say about this goal besides questionable defending from the Swiss, who are probably much taller than Argentinians. But later in the second half, Switzerland get an equalizer and Doy scores uh, off a tight angle into bottom right corner, I think, but
Actually,
mainly
brilliant play by Rodriguez too.
Yeah,
yeah,
Switzerland
yeah.
really looked into the game at this point. They tie it 1-1. They looked like they were going to take over.
And then they get a red card, and it kind of puts the game
Well,
to
tell us
bed.
what happened for the red
Oh
card.
yes, it was Embolo, right, or
Yes.
Ndor?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
dived already on a
Embolo
yellow.
dived to get a second yellow card. I don't think
But,
I don't
yeah.
think it should have been a yellow card. I think the game the ref, sorry, should have let it go, but of course it's Argentina, so why would they, right?
Well, no, but the rules are a little bit funky on the ref. So Paredes from Argentina and Embolo had been going
Yes,
at.
I know, but
But
it's
well,
still going to go in Argentina's favor if it's questionable, right?
I mean, maybe I certainly am no fan of the animals from Argentina, but uh, Paredes and Embolo had been going at it. Embolo already had a yellow card. He, I think, felt the contact coming from Paredes and went down
Yeah.
sooner than Paredes actually touched him. Paredes gets a yellow. The VAR says, hey, look, Paredes barely touched him or didn't touch him at all. It's questionable about
He
that
touched him
timeline.
when he was
Yeah, he
diving.
Yeah.
touched him as he was going down. So, and then since the ref had given a yellow to Paredes, he had to take it back under this mistaken identity. And it's unclear what the rules are. If you take a yellow, do you have to give another yellow to the person on the opposite side? Technically, it's an open-ended question. So, in the spirit of the game, yes, the ref could have left Embolo on and probably should have, although our household is biased. But anyway, yeah, that changed the game. And then Argentina, they get to extra time. Julian Alvarez scores a beautiful goal, and then it's 3-1 as the Swiss are trying to break. But yet another helping hand for 3 games in a row for the Argentines.
Okay, why don't we go through the semifinal games with France and Spain?
France and Spain, sure. Who's up first? Why don't you go, Luke?
Sure. I predict this will be one of the better games in the tournament, especially with both teams having immense attacking talent. I hope the likes of Yamal show up because he hasn't
I don't.
really, well, neutral perspective. I want him to show up just so it's a better game.
I want it to be a good game. I want the
Yeah.
stars to
Which
show.
I think that France will win. Just it may be scripted, but I think overall they have the better team. Obviously, Spain have conceded one goal.
They
And
conceded 1 to Belgium, right?
yeah, this entire tournament, and France was such attacking talent. I see them scoring more than 2 goals. So it'll be interesting how this game plays out. How about you, Dad?
I think the French are are the team to beat, in my opinion. But Spain won't be scared of them. They beat them in the Nations League final. They beat them 2 years ago in the Euros. So I think Spain's confident. I think this game, like the England Norway game, is going to come down to quality. I just don't see how the French attack lets them down quality wise. But anything can happen. Axel.
Luke, I know France have a better squad, but I think it's a a thing to leave out about Spain's squad because they have a pretty good squad consisting of some class players. I think like Rodri, almost not class, but good players. Rodri, Almo, Cucurella, Yamal, Simon, Raya, even though he doesn't start. So I do think it is a good battle between the two teams. I think France will come out on top, and personally, I think I like France more as a team, but I'm rooting for Spain in this one since when England beat Argentina, they have a higher chance of beating this Spain team than they do of the.
Yeah, I would like if England made it to the final for them to play Spain rather than England, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, I think that we leave England, Argentina to preview after the France game. But I know, Dad, you wanted to talk about something.
Oh well, I think we can
Maybe you want to
preview England Argentina a little bit more on Tuesday night when we've talked about the Spain French game. But I think it's important for the listener to know a little bit of history. So right now, anyway, that did you know moment when and in what year were red and yellow cards formed in footy? You guys know?
I know looking.
You know now that I told you, but in 1966, in the Argentina England quarterfinal, which was, of course, in England and the year that England won the World Cup.
Interesting.
Yeah, an Argentine player, Ratin, was sent off by the German referee Rudolf Kreitland, reportedly for violence of the tongue and violence in general. This is despite the ref speaking no Spanish and Ratin no German. They didn't supposedly understand each other very well, and so Ratin decided to not leave the field for 8 minutes, and then he sat on the red carpet meant for the Queen, and then also crumpled a corner flag bearing the Union Jack and threw it down on the ground. Chaos ensued. Bad feelings originated here between Argentina and England, and there's many other parts of the Argentina-England issue that further highlights bad feelings. But anyway, thus, when Ken Aston, the English referee supervising officials at the tournament, was driving home from this game at a stoplight, it occurred to him, yellow means take it easy, red means you're off. And so cards were debuted in the 1970 World Cup in Mexico. So yeah, this match basically was notoriously bad-tempered in 1966.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Even before Ratin sending off. And at the end of the game, just again to drive home how much England and Argentina hate each other, Alf Ramsey, the English manager, refused to let his players swap shirts and called the Argentines animals, which, of course, didn't help relations.
Well, I think it's very, very interesting that somehow, in some way, Argentina basically unintentionally created the thing that you get for cheating.
Well, basically, yeah. There's more, just for the listeners' edification. Do you guys remember the first year that England played Argentina in the World Cup?
Do I remember?
1962.
I wasn't alive.
Well, it's important too because 1962 in Chile, England beat Argentina 3-1. It's the World Cup that obviously Chile's next to Argentina, that Argentina supposedly paid off World Cup officials to win. If you read The Power and the Glory, they did pay. But they were so inept that they couldn't even win with bribes. Then 1966, England beats them again, 1-0 in the quarterfinal. 1986, the hand of God needs no further explanation. 1998, after extra time, Argentina wins 4-3 on PKs, but that was Beckham's red card for basically minorly touching Diego Simeone.
So basically, they cheated.
They cheated in every game they won. And in 2002 Japan Korea World Cup, England beat them 1-0 on Beckham's penalty, redeeming himself. And then, so head to head, England has 3 wins, Argentina has 2. Both of Argentina wins are suspect, like many of these Argentina wins in the World Cup. I do think, we're not conspiracy theorists here, but what do you think for you guys as teenagers is the most damaging part of the authority of FIFA and the refs that you've seen? What happened in this World Cup that really undermines their natural authority?
Consistency.
The consistency and the Balogun thing, right? Somebody can interfere, so there is bias there, and there's been clear bias in games. We saw, Kane get taken down by Norway, no call at all. The same thing even happens to Lisandro Martinez in the Egypt Argentina game, and they re-referee a whole minute.
Yeah.
So and Egypt gets it.
But
So
they did do
the
for
consistency is the issue, and I think until there's new leadership in FIFA, the authority of the refs will be undermined, and that's really unfortunate going into these games, because I don't think there could be a cleaner game than Norway-England. Both sets of fans, both teams. And it is interesting that an Englishman's not allowed to referee an Argentine game, but an Argentine can referee an England game. Tells you everything. Anyway, that's all. That was a lot for me to say. Sorry, I'm passionate. Luke, what did you say? What you thought was going to happen in the England Argentina game?
4-4 tunes.
Oh, I think that I hope England win. But I think it's scripted and it'll be another France Argentina final. I think there will be a controversial decision in that game, and a lot of people on social media will have.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Axel?
If it's not scripted, or I think if there's no questionable calls, England win. If Argentina, I think the only way Argentina win is if they cheat. I think England has a better squad, probably a better manager, a better mindset. So I'd say coming into this game, I know technically it's a home game for Messi. It's in Atlanta, right? So not far away from Inter Miami, where he lives. So I think, but I still do think, even though a bunch of Argentina fans will be there, if it's not scripted, England win.
Okay. What you have to say?
You're the host.
I think that's. Oh, moment of the day. What's your moment of the day?
Well, today there was no footy, so there was no moment of the day, but yesterday, I think my moment of the day was. I mean, it's very easy to say Bellingoal coming down, and I bet my moment of the day was Thomas Tuchel having a complete meltdown after the match, saying that they needed to play better. I absolutely fucking love that. That he knows that England has more quality and that it needs to come out, and then it needs to come out against the animals that they're about to play. I say animals lovingly, by the way, historically to context, not woke. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Jude Bellingham scoring is my moment of the yesterday. Axel, how about you?
Just ignore that. I think what it is pretty clearly is the England win, but most importantly, or most primarily, obviously Jude Bellingham scoring too.
Hey Jude. Yep. He's gonna carry England against the animals. We'll see though.
Oh.
Maybe you should end us before we say something even more stupid.
I'll say this: always call it football, and thanks for having us. Bye.
We'll see you after the France-Spain game. Allez les Bleus!